Hello, my friends, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. I felt called to come on and do a channeled love message. So chances are you are in limited to no contact with this person. I don't know if you can hear all those crows outside, but like a bunch of crows just started crowing. There's a lot of them out there. Anyway, crows can be symbolic of transformation, protection. So I want to start with channeled messages to see, I'm going to get more of these near the end of the reading, but I feel really called to start with them. So I'm just going to get a few to see the main message coming from this person. And I always say you'll know if this message is for you. All right. So I'm just going to cut the deck. I'm getting a very quiet energy, so I feel like your person has been quiet with you, maybe for a while. We have untrustworthy. I've made mistakes and lied in the past. Will you ever trust me again? And avoidant. I really want to be close to you, but I avoid emotional attachments out of fear. So I'm going to take those two. So it's clear that whoever you are connected to could have avoidant tendencies or be an avoidant. And I feel like this person could have made mistakes and lied to you and then ghosted you or avoided taking accountability. That's a tough energy to be dealing with for you. I don't know what it's like to be an avoidant. I try not to villainize people because we all have different attachment styles. But it's hard when you're connected to someone who's an avoidant. So this person could have disappeared from your life, or like I said, avoided taking accountability for some of their bad behavior is what I'm hearing. So let's go ahead and get a few more. So what does this person want to say to you? What does this person want to say to you? Clearly this person feels an emotional attachment to you. I can see it in the cards. Plus this avoidant card says, I avoid emotional attachments out of fear. So clearly you got close to them. These two cards are telling me that they do feel an emotional connection with you, and perhaps it was triggered their avoidance. Avoidants tend to sabotage and push away people before they can be abandoned. It stems from a fear of abandonment. Red car, specifically a Toyota, could be symbolic. The more I see you, the more I love and adore you. My heart cries out for you. So this person could be watching you as well, because this says my heart cries out for you, which means I don't think you're talking to this person right now. We share everything with one another. You get me. This person could also feel like maybe you understand what an avoidant is, and maybe you even tried to shed some light on that for them. Or maybe you called them out. We have together, here's another card about this emotional attachment they feel towards you. How we found each other, we are meant to be together forever and ever for eternity. So like I can see that this person, their heart does cry out for you, but they could have a fear of abandonment, a fear of being loved, especially if this person grew up with an avoidant parent. Those crows are going crazy out there. And like I said, I'm getting a very quiet energy from your person, or it's like very contemplative, very silent, very guarded. Divine timing. The universe always delivers in divine timing. Be patient and trust the process. So there's also an element of divine timing here. So this isn't something that you could force or, control. Let me know if you can hear those crows. They are going insane out there. So this person, I almost feel like this person, I'm hearing they're licking their wounds. And I feel like they know they're in the wrong, and that's why they're avoiding you. That's why they're so quiet with you. It's interesting because other than the crows making a lot of noise, I'm getting a very quiet energy from your person. Initials that could be symbolic, well, November 11th could be symbolic, or November, but DTEUABFT could be symbolic. I'm also hearing something about rose-colored glasses. So this person could have been wearing rose-colored glasses when it came to themselves. You could have also been wearing rose-colored glasses with this person. Clearly, I can see by these 3 cards here, you showed this person a lot of love and they did feel emotionally attached to you. You could have been friends first, or you could have been a big comfort to this person. Holy smokes, gray SUV. I cannot remember the last time I heard that many crows. There's got to be like 20 out there. I feel like maybe this person is really in their head, and there could, like I said, you could be being protected right now from this person. I feel like this person doesn't know what to say to you. You could have also put up boundaries, or they could have put up boundaries. But I'm hearing not healthy boundaries. Like, boundaries are supposed to be healthy. They're meant to protect you, not to build walls. And I feel like your person has built walls around them. What in the heck is going on out there? I'm just going to see if I can see them. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's like 30 crows outside. And I'm hearing something. I'm hearing Spirit's trying to wake this person up. Spirit's really trying to get this person's attention and wake them up to their avoidant ways and to take accountability for their untrustworthy behavior, whatever that was for you. I cannot get over how many crows are out there. All right, I'm going to get this deck and see if we can get a little bit more information. They're just going to keep growing. You could be a divine feminine. Yeah, we have thoughts of you. So right now this person is like drowning in thoughts of you. Spirit is really trying to wake this person up. No more running, vulnerable and weak. So you made this person feel vulnerable and weak. Clearly they ran from you. Clearly they built walls around them to protect themselves. Perhaps because you could see some of their shadows and you triggered those shadows. I just feel like this person, like the energy that I'm channeling from them, they're completely silent, but their head is not. If my phone wasn't in the holder, I would show you the crows outside. All right. What are you? Threatened, embarrassed, jealous, appearances, coward. So that's what I was saying. You could have really triggered this person's shadows, and they could have responded with ego and then ran away. I cannot get over those crows. I gotta show them to you. Hang on. Look at this. I've never seen so many crows in my life. They're not even really doing anything. They're just flying around in a circle. I'm getting like 9 of Swords energy. Like someone's in their head about you. You could be picking up on this. Look at them all. They just keep coming. Where are they going? All right. I am hearing consumed by thoughts of you, but saying nothing. I was just about to cut the deck. Archangel Michael, protection from harm, listening. So there's some sort of divine intervention, divine timing. Spirit's trying to intervene here with this person and wake them up. At the beginning of my awakening, I had crows appear like that. And I remember looking up what it meant, and it was like the universe is trying to get a message to you. But I also said something about you being protected from harm. So I feel like this person is in an energy where they may hurt you, or there's something unhealed where they may act from a place of ego and hurt you if they were to come forward right now. And listening. So there's a lot going on with this person. There's a lot of, like I said, divine intervention trying to wake this person up, and I feel like they're finally starting to listen. Now they're starting to quiet. Interesting. What do we need to know about this connection? Financial ties, adrenaline rush. So high highs, low lows. So it probably felt like you were on a roller coaster with this person. There could have been a lot of ups and downs. When things were good, they could have been really good, but when things were bad, they were very bad. The other thing I'm hearing is when you're dealing with an avoidant, I talk about a slot machine. So when you're dealing with someone avoidant who gives you like crumbs of warmth, crumbs of attention, it can really, it can create a push-pull dynamic that you actually become codependently attached to because you've seen the warmth, you've seen that that person can open up. 9 times out of 10, they're cold, they're inconsistent, they're avoiding you. But then that 1 time out of 10, they're warm with you, so it keeps you kind of hanging on. There's a song trying to come through, maybe you know what it is. That's what keeps me hanging on. I don't know what song that is, I just keep hearing that's what keeps me hanging on. And you could have had to get off this ride. It can be like a roller coaster. Like I said, you can become codependently attached to it. You can start to feel like, think about that slot machine. 9 times out of 10, you're losing. 1 time out of 10, you win. And that keeps you hooked. You have this fear that if you get up and walk away from the slot machine, the next person is going to win the jackpot. So you could have had this fear that if you walked away from this, that this person was going to take up with someone else and all of a sudden they weren't going to be an avoidant. That's not how it works. Eventually that avoidant energy will come out. Also, I'm hearing something about 6 months, a year. So maybe it's been a while since you've heard from this person. It can take an avoidant longer to feel, for like their heart to cry out for you, like this card. It can take them longer to feel the loss of you. Whereas people who are kind of anxiously attached, they feel the loss right away. The avoidant can outrun feeling that loss for a while. They can distract themselves. We also have financial ties. So there could have been an imbalance here with that Archangel Michael card in the scales. There could have been inconsistency here. There could have been, maybe this person wasn't consistently giving to this connection. They could have, I see this threaten card sticking out. So they could have felt, German Shepherds could be symbolic, but they could have felt threatened, like maybe you made more money. They could have felt threatened if you tried to talk to them about their avoidant personality or their avoidant tendencies. Or maybe you even said, like, if this doesn't change, I'm going to walk away. They could have felt threatened by that and then pushed you away. They could have prioritized work over this connection. I'm not sure if I've already said that. But, we see Archangel Michael, divine intervention. They show us the red flags. The park Six Flags could be symbolic, or memories on a roller coaster, but they show us the red flags, and sometimes we don't want to take off our rose-colored glasses. We think, I'll just stay on this ride and see if it gets any better. So you could have actually been removed from the ride. And that high highs, low lows, it can create a release of a hormone. I believe it's cortisol, but don't quote me on that. And you actually become addicted to it, like I said with the slot machine. So, you know, a lot of people don't understand, well, why did you stay in that situation? Why did you put up with that? But there's, you know, I'm hearing with this card, there was also chemical things going on, like hormones being released, maybe even past wounds being triggered. So let's say you grew up with an avoidant parent and you always wanted to earn their love, or you felt like you had to earn their love. As a grown-up in this connection, you could have been repeating that dynamic and subconsciously feeling like if you could just earn this person's love, it would heal you. Or, you know, a lot of us who grow up in that dynamic as children grow up and then repeat that dynamic in our adult relationships. So it's not just you wanting love from this person. It's also like your inner child it's your inner child being triggered, wanting your parents' love. Does that make sense? I'm having a really hard time channeling your person's energy. Like, it's just, the crows have stopped, but their mind is just chaos. You could have been dealing with someone who also grew up in a very chaotic household, and maybe they didn't know what to do when things felt good and safe and nurturing. Like, I feel like you showed this person a lot of love. They found you very nurturing. That's probably something they always wanted, but because it wasn't familiar, they pushed you away. When someone grows up in a chaotic household, and the crows are back, and they're unhealed, when things get good and safe, it can make them really uncomfortable because it's not familiar. And familiar stems from the word familial, family. So when someone grows up watching a lot of chaos or experiencing a lot of chaos as a child, they grow up and they subconsciously create that chaos. And then it causes that adrenaline, that release of hormones or cortisol or whatever it is. I'm not sure that's the right word. So I just feel like I was hearing with this, you're dealing with someone with a lot of fragmentation, like trauma from the past. All right, on the bottom we have begging. So this person does want forgiveness, but it's like they're being completely silent with you. They're avoiding taking accountability. I'm seeing the Lovers in reverse, which is it's about a lot of things, but one thing that's really sticking out to me is someone knows they need to take accountability, but they're avoiding. I don't envy your person. Their energy is quite chaotic. All right, let's keep going. All right, so we have soul contract. So you and this person clearly have a soul contract. That's what I channel. You could have been, or you could be working through some anxious attachment. Anxious attachment, anxious avoidant, they kind of attract each other in these soul contracts to heal those wounds out. It says come together in reconciliation, but I feel like there needs to be an apology and justice needs to be served before there can be this reconciliation. Yeah, young, childhood wounds. That's what I was hearing. So just to touch on this financial card, like I said, maybe you make more money than this person and they're threatened by that. Or they could have been prioritizing finances over this connection. They could have even been distracting themselves with work. There's clearly childhood wounds here. Maybe you knew this person when you were younger, but I'm getting childhood wounds. And what's interesting is we have this little child kind of playing with the bubbles, and then black pickup truck. This is the only time, like, I barely talk about gender, but I do notice this little masculine child and then a feminine child, and it looks like the feminine child is chasing him. So you could have, this really could have triggered a chaser wound within you. And sometimes these wounds, we don't even know that we have them. They lay dormant until we come into our soul contract and it's triggered. Mental prison, that's exactly what I'm feeling in your person. Continuous thoughts, but like nothing is coming out. That's what I was feeling. And then we have that needing more. So they want more. They can't stop thinking about you. They're in this mental prison. But I just keep hearing they're avoiding accountability, legal. They could be going through a legal matter, or one of you could work in law. We have all right, I'm hoping you can hear me. I just got an emergency alert to my phone, and the last time that happened, I realized that my reading was silent. So hopefully you can hear me now. But what's really weird is that I don't believe in accidents. And this morning we had an emergency alert that there was a masculine running around, tattoos on the face. Maybe tattoos on the face are symbolic, you know, being a danger to others. I'll leave it there. And the people in that area were called to shelter down, lock their doors, don't go outside. And it's giving me that energy of protection. And then during your reading, hours later, I just got another alert that it's safe. It's safe. The masculine has been detained. There is no longer a threat. I feel that's symbolic of what's going on here. I'm not going to lie. Like, the universe has this person exactly where they need to be to wake up. And I feel like you have been being protected, or maybe you were wise and started protecting your own energy. Anyway, I can't even remember what I was talking about, but we have childhood wounds here. So look, it's coming in underneath avoidant too. I didn't mean to put it there. So I do feel like this person has trauma from the past, trauma from their childhood. And, you know, sometimes when people heal from their childhood, they can become, how can I put this? I'm not trying to offend anyone, but I went through it. People who are spiritual go through it. It's like spiritual ego. You know, I hear people talk all the time, well, I healed from my childhood wounds and I don't hurt people, so they shouldn't be hurting people. And I completely agree with you. But it takes, not everyone is brave enough to work on their childhood wounds. So maybe you started working on your childhood wounds way before this person did. But whatever's going on with them, it definitely stems from childhood wounding. And that's not to make an excuse for them. It doesn't mean putting up with bad behavior, but it's about understanding. We have summer, change, new direction. So summer could be symbolic. There could be memories of summer. Something could have happened during the summer where you lost trust in this person. Oh, interesting. We share everything with one another under financial ties. So at some point you could have helped this person financially, or there could be a link there. We have, I need your love, no more running, vulnerable and weak. So their heart is crying out for you. They're no longer running from feeling the loss of you, I'm hearing. Could be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So they're no longer in avoidance, that their heart is crying out for you. They're getting the wake-up call they need. And then we have legal. So in divine timing, I feel like justice will be served. In divine timing, this person will, you know, be able to take accountability. And that may be hard for you. Excuse me. Because you could be someone that can easily apologize. Hang on. Just as I started talking about apologizing, my throat completely closed over. So I grew up in a household where nobody apologized. Froggy, releasing, cleansing, healing, specifically childhood wounds. Releasing, cleansing, healing. But I grew up in a household where, I saw the avoidant and anxious attachment dynamic, the people pleaser, the walking on eggshells. I witnessed the non-apologies. That's just not something we did in our house. It's funny because my parents would never apologize, but then when I did something wrong, they were so like, you need to apologize, which is kind of ironic, I guess. But a lot of people grow up not knowing how to say they're sorry, not knowing how to take accountability, because when they hurt someone, they feel shame. And by saying they're sorry, it makes them admit that they hurt someone. So they tend to push away that shame, if that makes sense. I'm having a really hard time in your person's brain. But through healing my childhood wounds, I've learned how to apologize. There's also, some people will say the hardest words to say aren't, I love you, but I was wrong. I am sorry. Please forgive me. It can be very hard for some people. Again, I'm not making excuses. That doesn't mean you don't deserve that accountability. You do. But this person needs to, heal enough to be able to take accountability. And the first step with taking accountability is admitting to yourself that you were wrong about something or that you hurt someone. This could have been someone, I'm hearing, that they hurt you, and then when you tried to tell them they hurt you, they took it as an attack, or they turned it around on you. Because we also have this justice card, and the energy of justice, the shadow, is blaming unfairly. So that's another thing that a lot of unhealed people do, is when you try and say, when you did this, it hurt me, they deflect it, or they turn it into, well, you're just too sensitive. It was your reaction that's the problem. Or they just blame you. So clearly I feel this person needs to take accountability, which is what's stopping them from coming forward. And again, I feel like for your person, some pretty hard things for them to say is, I love you, I care about you, I value you, I was wrong, I'm sorry I hurt you. All right, so yeah, soul contract on the bottom, and it feels like there needs to be that justice, or that balance, the karmic balance of the scales. There needs to be an apology before the two of you can reconciliate. So you could have been someone that over apologized. You know what I mean? Like, I've been there. You want to keep the peace so bad that you end up apologizing even though you didn't do anything wrong. I feel like this person really needs to apologize for something here. And you may not even trust them anymore. I don't know. We haven't looked at tarot yet. So let's get some, actually, let's go feelings first. I'm going to get this feelings deck. So we're just going to get a few cards about how they feel about you. How is this person feeling? Running. They weren't running from you. They were running from their own ego. They were running from their own childhood wounding. And again, it's not just you. This is not a you problem. It's a them problem. You're probably not the first person they've run from. All right. We have broken. So you could have broken their own reflection. Like, they could have seen themselves in a very certain way, their perception of themselves. I feel like maybe that mirror cracked. Maybe something you said got through to them. Shattered, heartbroken, destroyed. So they are feeling it now. But it's funny, when I was shuffling, I saw ghosting, running, and I also saw time. So I feel like it's taken this person time to get to this feeling here. Whereas you probably felt it right away when they ghosted you. You probably immediately felt broken, shattered, heartbroken, destroyed. Where they were able to, I'm hearing the word compartmentalize for some reason. That's not a word I use. But looking at that avoidant card, I'm hearing like they were able to compartmentalize things and kind of stick you in a little corner while they avoided and focused on work or whatever they were focusing on. We have boundaries. No, enough is enough, drawing the line. And I always say the letter B could be symbolic. But if we don't put up boundaries, divine intervention, Archangel Michael will step in to protect us. I talked about the crows. That was an insane amount of crows, and now they're all gone. So this person, like, they could have broken you down to the point where you had to put up a boundary and say, enough is enough. I deserve better. Or, I know you're hurt. I know you have childhood wounds, but I'm not going to be your, I'm hearing emotional punching bag. I'm not sure if you said that. I choose peace. All right. The letter P could be symbolic. So ARFTYSINYLL. All right, so let's see how this person is feeling about you. Also themselves. I kind of want to see how they're feeling about themselves. All right, so surprise, surprise, twin flame came out. So it took me so long to realize that that was two people. Mirroring, shared feelings, reflection. So right now they are reflecting on this. They could be mirroring your energy. You know, if you out of nowhere can't think straight and can't form words and are like in a mental prison, I bet your booty that it's this person's energy, because I'm feeling it. But when twin flame comes out for how this person feels about you, do they know what it is? I'm not sure. But it means they've never felt this way before. Also, I'm hearing no one else has ever made me want to change my behavior until you. So I feel like this is someone who easily could run from connection to connection, job to job, friendship to friendship. They could run away from things quite easily, but there's something about you that's different. We have distance, separation, space, blockage. So clearly they feel the distance here. There's definitely emotional distance, physical distance could be a thing. But they feel the space between. Now that song, The Space Between, Dave Matthews is coming through. We have return, wanting a second chance, wanting a new opportunity, wanting to make amends with you. We have running. So they know they ran from you here. They know that they want to stop running and make amends with you. It makes perfect sense with this reading. This is really interesting because we have nourish. And that's what I was getting, that you really nourished this person. You gave them like Queen of Cups energy, Empress energy, and they didn't know what to do with it. They didn't know how to hold that love. I almost said they didn't need it. So this person could have felt like they didn't need that type of love once they experienced it with you. But they feel like you are in Queen of Cups energy. So giving to yourself, prioritizing your own healing, focused on self-growth, focused on yourself, soul finding. So you could be someone who's on this healing journey. I also feel like this person is realizing that they were running from their own self-growth. And we have bluff on the bottom. So it almost feels like this person thought that you would, like maybe this person ghosted you and they expected you to keep trying, to keep like riding that roller coaster. And maybe they thought you were bluffing. If you went quiet after they ghosted you, if you stopped chasing, they could have thought that you were bluffing. They could have also been bluffing. Sometimes avoidance create that chaos, or just the chaos that I was feeling. This person could have created a lot of chaos, threatened to end things. We had that threatened card, hoping that you would beg them or something. And that is a form of self-sabotage. It's, I'm going to abandon this situation before it can abandon me. And sometimes it comes from a very unhealthy place. I've done it in my past, where it's, you do it subconsciously from an unhealed place, but you create chaos, and you say it's over, and you're hoping for that validation from that person that they're going to stay and fight, or that they're going to say, no, I don't want to lose you. So this person could have created that and self-sabotaged, and maybe you were just like, here's the door. Like, also that exaggerating energy, this person could have exaggerated whatever was going on here. Let's get a few more. So TFDRRN. Let's get a few more. I was also hearing ME. So how is this person feeling about you? Realizations, epiphany, understanding, awakenings. Yeah, one day, someday, somewhere, another time. That makes sense with the energy that I'm picking up on. So this person does want to come back together, but they're having an epiphany about themselves, about you. They're having a realization, light bulb moment. But it's not, I'm going to reach out right now. There's still a little bit of avoidance there. Again, I'm seeing the Lovers in reverse. This person knows they need to take accountability. They know they need to make a decision. But there's still a bit of an avoidant, you know what I mean? Like when you know you need to do laundry and you're like, oh, I'll leave it till tomorrow, like procrastination. Or I know I need to quit doing this bad habit. I'll start on Monday. And then Monday comes and you're like, I'll start next Monday. That's the energy coming through for your person. I feel like they're also still trying to make sense of what's happening to them, because all those crows, I feel like this person is getting a wake-up call, and that can be very confusing. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going through some dark night of the soul. So they have had this realization that one day they want to come back in for reconciliation. They want to make amends. But again, there's still that avoidant energy there. Someday, somewhere, another time, I'll do that. Not today. I'm seeing that card, not today. Avoiding conversation. Not surprising. I felt called to do a channeled message. ROD could be symbolic. All right. On the bottom of the deck, we have commitment for how they feel about you. And we have obscurity, which is moon energy. So there's fear and uncertainty if they have what it takes to commit to you. There's definitely a fear of commitment here when it comes to you. I mean, for them feeling a commitment energy towards you and then being afraid of it. So let's get tarot. I'm going to use this animal deck. So animals could be symbolic. 8 of Arrows, 8 of Swords. Trapped in a prison of their own making. They feel like they're stuck. They feel like they can't say anything. But if you look at this image, this armadillo is not stuck. It could take off those binds. It could get out of those arrows. Arrows down, no communication. Because they're stuck in their head. There's one little crow out there still going. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Lilies could be symbolic. Your name could be Lily. Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like this person, They're in their head about the healing they need to do. Healing is not an easy journey. Like, it takes someone brave, someone full of strength, inner strength to heal. It's much easier to run. One more shuffle. This card is huge. We have the Five of Arrows. So definitely in their head about you. Five of Arrows, Five of Swords, self-sabotage. So this person, this energy right here is the armor we build as a wounded child, okay? It's how we learn to protect ourselves. It's how we learn to protect that ego, not the healthy amount of ego, the unhealthy amount of ego. So that you could have felt like this person was playing mind games. There's definitely an energy of like pushing you away, self-sabotage. I'm hearing you were getting too close to their wounds. Their ego felt threatened. Let's cut the deck. The crows are just going to be here for your whole reading, I guess. We have the Sun, healing. Divine masculine energy. Someone could be autistic or neurodivergent or have hidden disabilities with the sunflower. I feel like this person is like the light bulb moment. They're gaining clarity about this, about what they need to heal. We have the Queen of Pentacles. So you could very much be protecting your pentacle right now from this person. Four of Arrows, Four of Swords. So Three of Swords, heartbreak, pain, separation, leading to Four of Swords, leading to an epiphany, leading to clarity, leading to an awakening. So you could have withdrawn from this person once you saw the light. You could have withdrawn, protected your own energy, started focusing on something else. ADHD, the squirrel. Not focusing on your ADHD. I just meant to say ADHD could be symbolic. Air energy could be no, not air. Earth energy could be symbolic. There goes my throat chakra again. Even look at that acorn or chestnut with a protective, spiky shield on it. And what's interesting is that these two are wearing the same neck piece. I don't know what that's called. I feel like that could be symbolic of the mirroring that's happening here. Like, just intuitively looking at this, we have a mountain in the distance, which is about obstacles. And around this squirrel, we have all of these trees protecting the squirrel. We have a protective spiky shell on whatever that is, chestnut, I'm not sure what that is. And the way this squirrel is guarding that pentacle, so I feel like you are protecting your energy. You could have withdrawn, or again, there could have been divine intervention for healing. All right. So let's see. Oh, let's see your person's energy. Current energy. We have death, transformation. That's good. This is good, my friends. Six of Arrows. So being guided into calmer waters, being guided towards a transition, and then we have death. Amazing. So they are going through a transition, a transformation. And I feel like they're going through some sort of ego death where they're shedding a past version of themselves. And this feels very divinely guided. The fact that this creature, buffalo, whatever it is pushing this boat and this person into calmer waters. I feel like the universe is in control here. The universe trying to push them into calmer waters. 10 of Arrows. They've hit rock bottom. And this is when you wake up. This is when you have your epiphany, your breakthrough moment, when you've hit rock bottom. So this person has hit rock bottom. and they're being guided towards this transformation, Scorpio energy. Let's get another one. Also, these are foxes, and you know what I'm going to say. Fox energy can be deceptive, sneaky, sly, cunning, manipulative. So that could be symbolic here. Let's go one more for your person's energy. We've got the 3 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. That's interesting. There could have been a friendship that ended here, or a third-party situation that ended. Even family. And they're working on their stability here, 4 of Wands. With that 10 of Swords and the Death, I feel like 3 of Cups, something could have happened with a friend or a third-party interference. They're being called to create more stability in their life. They could have found something out about a friend, or even learning something about their childhood. I'm going to confirm that 4 of Wands and 3 of Cups. Can you confirm that, please? The Star. In reverse, 4 of Arrows. So, that is interesting. So I'm getting very clearly that they could have had someone around them that had a very pessimistic mindset, whether it was family, whether it was a friend. Very negative mindset with the Star in reverse. This person, I'm going to be honest here, but this person could have been surrounded by people who would never call them on their own crap, if you know what I mean. It's very important when you're healing to seek out someone who doesn't know you already, is what I'm hearing, because the people around you, and I'm actually talking about your person, but the people around you, your friends, I'm getting friends and family with the 4 of Wands and 3 of Cups. They could have been having a negative influence on this person because they either weren't seeing what was underneath the mask, or they were coddling them in a sense, like they wouldn't. I feel like this could have been someone who talked to their friends and family about what happened between you, and their friends and family were just like, oh yeah, they're the problem. That viewer's the problem. It's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. When really your person is fragmented. So we can surround ourselves by people who make us feel safe because they don't trigger our shadows and they kind of feed our ego a little bit. That's what I meant about when you're healing. It's important to get help from someone, if you are getting help, that doesn't know you. Because when you know someone, when you're family, when you're friends, that impartial honesty isn't there. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like your person had friends and family that were creating a block here because this person was repeating negative emotional patterns with the Death card. And their friends and family were telling them, no, you don't need to heal. That's very specific. That's very specific. And this person has a lack of hope when it comes to you in this connection. They have a lack of hope that they will be able to reunite with you that they will be able to have union with you. That star in reverse is showing lack of hope. And I feel like they were ignoring the things that they needed to heal in order to have that union and have that commitment with you. This person could have prioritized friends over stability or friends over this connection. And I feel like they've withdrawn their energy from some negative things in their life. All right, let's see how I want to see how they're perceiving you, or how do they think you feel about them? How do they think you feel about them? Okay. So 2 of arrows, 2 of swords stuck. For how they think you feel about them, they feel like there's a stalemate here. That, you know, you're not going to come towards them. They could be feeling like you feel they prioritized work and friends over this connection. That's a shadow of the 2 of arrows. They could also feel like you feel like they need to go within. You could have even said that to them. You need to go within and do some soul searching, some healing. They could feel like you have new love in your life. They could feel like you feel they're immature. Again, I'm not sure if these are things you said to them. Now, the tarot cards are another story, because we've got the cards fell on the floor in reverse. So we've got, this is how they think you feel about them. They all fell into reverse. So just looking at the donkeys here on the chariot, they think that you feel like you're on different paths. Maybe you were butting heads. Maybe, you know, you do feel like this person was resisting change. Again, I'm not saying this is how you feel about this person. This is how they think you feel about them. King of Wands in reverse. So they think you feel like they were stubborn, hot-tempered, egotistical, selfish, self-focused. You know, what they want to do comes first. Ace of Swords in reverse, that there were miscommunications here. This person could have communicated from a very triggered place. Remember, this is how they think you're feeling about them. So to me, this shows some self-awareness. Either you said all this to them, you know, like you weren't putting in enough effort. You were prioritizing everything over this connection. You were acting from a place of ego. You were communicating in unhealthy ways, avoiding conversation maybe, very stubborn, or it shows self-reflection. Because if this is how they think you're feeling about them and you never said that to them, that means they're having awareness about their own behavior, because they think that you're looking at them like they're self-absorbed and they put what they want to put first, not this connection, that they communicated in unhealthy ways, clashing perspectives, like they didn't put in enough effort, that this wasn't going anywhere. So you could have just been stuck on a round, like a loop-de-loop, like this roller coaster. It wasn't going anywhere with the Chariot in reverse. Interesting. Let's see how they perceive you, like your energy right now. So how do they think you're doing? Page of Arrows, Page of Pentacles, the Empress. Love, 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 love. That's beautiful. So they are intimidated by you. The fact that we have a bunny coming out, they're timid of you with the bunny energy, but they're perceiving you as the Empress. So focusing on yourself. I don't chase, I attract. They could feel like you have a lot of abundance, overflowing abundance, I'm hearing, that you've released them. Page of Pentacles, their perception of you is that you're on a new beginning. Their perception of you, they could be watching you online. You could have started some sort of new project online, or their perception, they could just feel like you've started a new project. Page of Swords makes me think that this person is watching you, but there's something about this person feels like you're on some sort of new beginning. Maybe they feel like you have a new connection in your life, a new job. Also, pages are, that's 1111 right there. But pages are also about children. So with the Empress, their perception could be that you're focused on your children right now. The Magician, so they feel like you can manifest anything you want. So maybe their perception is that you manifest someone new into your life. How are they feeling about you? Also, that Queen of Pentacles, protecting that pentacle, that's making me think of that. So they feel like you're working on your stability here. You could be taking a course. You're on a new chapter. That's their perception. Let's see how they're feeling about you. How are they feeling about you? So we have the Hermit. So they definitely feel like you have withdrawn. That's interesting. So they feel like you've withdrawn your energy. They feel like you're doing some soul searching. They feel like you have boundaries up, that you have clarity about this situation. Virgo energy there. We also have the King of Swords for how they're feeling about you. So I do feel like this person, we have an arrow up now. So arrows up are you could have asked to see blue butterflies. Arrows up, that's about communication. So this person does want to communicate with you, but they feel like they betrayed you. They broke your trust, that they hurt you with this 10 of arrows. Maybe they feel like since this ending, you've raised your standards and pulled back your energy, Hermit energy. Their intentions will be interesting. They're very much in their head about you, which is what I was getting. Let's see their intentions towards you. King of Pentacles, stability. So think about it. That Queen of Pentacles in the beginning. Same imagery with it's just mirrored with the mountain and the trees. So this person's intentions are to come towards you with a stable offer, to match your energy, to be a generous provider, stable, committed. That's, marriage material right there. That's their intention. Two of Wands, they know to do it. They need to leave their comfort zone. So the Two of Wands is about, it's almost like right now they're behind that mountain in this image, because there's a mountain. So Two of Wands, their intentions are to leave their comfort zone and come towards you and offer you stability. Let's confirm intentions before we go to actions. What are their intentions? The Empress. So they do want to fight for this connection. Their intentions are to... It's funny that the King of Pentacles is here too, because there's a lot about nurturing, like nurturing this connection. I'm hearing their intentions are to fight for this, to fight for you. The birth of something new with the Empress. One more. We also had the Seven of Wands on the bottom there. That's why I said their intentions are to fight for this. Maybe even to come over those boundaries that were put up. And again, boundaries are meant to build walls. Healthy boundaries are not meant to build walls. They're meant to protect us. But some people, justice, fucking right. Some people see boundaries as walls. Like you put up a boundary and they're like, oh, I guess I can't talk to you. I guess I'll never be able to talk to you again because you put up a boundary. That's not what boundaries are about. Justice, apology, what did I say? Taking accountability. I feel like this person's main problem is not taking accountability right now. So they want to make things right with you. They want to restore balance here. Marcel from Friends could be symbolic. The movie Monkey Trouble. Oh my gosh, I loved that movie when I was young. Five of Wands in reverse. Resolution, compromise. That's their intention. Let's see what action they're taking. Oh, some of you have asked about Wally. Wally's fine. Wally's fine, I promise. He's just much happier not being around dogs. And he's, you know, he has the whole basement to himself and he loves my son and I unconditionally love them both. And as much as the selfish part of me wants Wally back up here, I know that they're both happier being together. So as an act of unconditional love, I am letting them stay together. But Wally is fine, I promise. All right, let's see what action they're going to take. So we have, on the bottom, we have the Fool. So they are going to take a leap of faith towards you for a new beginning. They are going to reach out to you. Could be after they walk away from something else. The Two of Wands. So they are going to make a decision and leave their comfort zone. What are you? Page of Wands. So that's cute. Robin Hood could be symbolic, but that shows that person preparing to leave their comfort zone, make a decision about a future, stepping out of that comfort zone, and then taking action, picking up that wand. That's a message. Page of Wands is a message. So they step out of that comfort zone, out of the fear, we should say. And that's what I mean about the people they've surrounded themselves with. The people they've surrounded themselves with, I feel, are comfortable because they don't challenge them, and I feel like you challenge them to grow. But the Fool confirming that. So you've got 3 wands, like this guy has a wand, this person has a wand, this dog has a wand. They could bring you flowers. There's red roses and white roses. And even that ace of feathers, even that feather, Ace of Swords energy. Let's just confirm this. Wands are actually quite fast. Two to 11 days, February 11th. Because I'm seeing 2/11, so February 11th could be symbolic. Or 2 to 11 days. Let's get one more for action. I believe 3 of Wands. There, Spirit, thank you for confirming it because I was just seeing 3 of Wands. And remember, this was the animal that was in the 6 of Swords. They're going through a transition right now, remember? And I was saying I was seeing 3 wands. So this is confirming that they do reach out to you because this is that guy leaving their comfort zone, making the decision to leave their comfort zone. This is actually also about wanting to start a healthy relationship, wanting to build a solid foundation. So there is progression and growth here when they come towards you. 9 of Swords in reverse. Well, that's really good because I was feeling, remember when I showed you the crows? I said, whoops, I said 9 of Swords. So 7 of Wands. So they're going to come towards you maybe a little guarded because maybe they don't want to overstep your boundaries, but they are coming in to fight for this. They're picking up that wand. That can also be about preparing for an important conversation and standing up for what they want against other people's opinions and against their own ego, I'm hearing. 9 of Swords in reverse is about healing and recovery and honest conversation. It's also about alleviating stress by talking to you about it. So whatever this mental prison they're in, they kind of come towards you to relieve that stress through a conversation. So that could be 9 weeks. So I want to say up to 9, I want to say 11 days. I'm hearing 11 days to 9 weeks. Or February 11th could be important. What does this person want you to know? They want the end of conflict here. Oh, look at that, 7 of Swords. I was talking about that sneaky energy. So this person wants to resolve this. They want to make amends for their 7 of Swords behavior, for their untrustworthy behavior. This person does feel like maybe you don't trust them anymore. But they want resolution here. They want to make things right. The end of conflict is coming. What is your advice about this person? We have the Magician. And we have the Ace of Cups. So your advice about this person, they could have been acting from a manipulative energy because they lacked love and emotional maturity, I'm hearing. Ace of Cups, I feel like, look at that. I mean, I know that's a cup in this deck, but I do feel like Spirit's telling you to focus on your self-love right now. There is the possibility for a renewal if that's what you're manifesting. But to focus on your own self-love, especially if there's mirroring. Like if you're focusing on all your elements and especially on self-love. I'm also hearing something about jellyfish. And the Magician does talk about someone who appeared, like the shadow appears manipulative. And I'm thinking about how the jellyfish stings, right? Its tentacles sting. So this person could have, you know, again, I'm not here to make excuses, but could have appeared manipulative out of like their upbringing, or they could have hurt you with their like defensiveness because they were just trying to protect themselves. They didn't know what they were doing. Anyway, I'm not trying to make excuses. All right. Let's get some more channeled messages for you. It's 222. I never look at the clock during these readings. It's 222. What does this person want to say? What does this person want to say? All right. We have stressed. I am emotionally drained to the point where I am beginning to shut down. Look at everything that's in this person's head. That's what I was feeling at the beginning of this reading. And towards the end of it, especially when that 9 of Swords in reverse came out, I started to feel less like in my head. Look, head over heart. Heart says yes, but the mind says no, mental pain. So I feel like their head has been ruling this. Speak up. I'm not letting you go, and you will hear from me very soon. Please don't give up on me. I'm hearing up until February 11th. Distorted. My views are fragmentation. My views on relationships are distorted from past experiences. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's exactly what I was talking about. Heartbreak. The wrong choice was made, and now they sit in the pain of losing you. Where is my heart? Their heart cries for you, remember? So they know they made the wrong choice here. Pretending. I'm tired of pretending that I am happy without you. The silence is killing me. That's what I meant about an avoidant. An avoidant can kind of pretend that it's not bothering them. They can distract themselves, but eventually it catches up with them. Picture perfect. You are beautiful inside and out. I stare at your pictures all day. Gerba daisies could be symbolic. And we have frequency. I can't stop thinking about you. We are aligning on the same frequency and vibration. So, my beautiful friends, I'm going to leave it here. As always, me and the crows are sending, or the crows and I, whatever the proper grammar is, the crows and I are sending you lots of love, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.